Okay, welcome back, and let us go ahead to our announcements today. So first announcement is life naturally creating is our next topic. So we're talking about the last of our powers, and we kind of round it all out at this point. This is one of the last powers we talk about. It's also one of the one that you truly want to pay attention, especially when you've come from a traditional background and you talk about the apostle Judas as the representative of life. So you definitely want to tune in next week as we go through the power of life, which is naturally creating. On the 23rd of May at 9:45, we will be having an in-person service again. Hopefully this time, make sure that the technology and everything's working, so we'll have a full service from there. You can join us in person or in line, and then there'll be a community meeting afterwards to continue some questions and discussions that came up from the annual meeting. So if you can be there and be a part of this, great. If not, join us in person for our service, and we'll see everyone there. And as always, if you feel so moved to give, please go to our website at unityofnepa.org. You can use the contribute button up at the top. You can use our PayPal link at our YouTube page on the banner of our main page. And as always, you can mail it in and our office staff will take care of it. Other ways you can give is also through Amazon Smile. Amazon now allows you to lock your login to Amazon Smile, so any purchase you make will always give a little bit to the ministry and help us do the work we are meant to do. So with that being said, let us go ahead and begin our affirmations. So we start with the vision we hold. In oneness, we co-create a world inspired by the practice of love, peace, and harmony for all. What is ours to do? It is to serve our community through affirmative prayers, teachings, and service. And finally, what do we believe in? That there is one power, one presence active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Okay. So let us go ahead and continue with our service here, where we will go into our meditation. If you can and you are at home, try to eliminate distractions as you get into it and truly listen to it, as we'll be working on our confidence, we'll be working on our worthiness, and reminding ourselves of what a beautiful expression we are in this world. So with that being said, I'll be back with our lesson in a few. As we begin our lesson on Zeal today, let us think about that self-motivation, that enthusiastic place within our heart that comes from a place of love. And let's work on that motivation from a place within our center of being, that Christ center that allows us to know what is ours to do, and that we do it with full love and full enthusiasm and full zeal. So let's begin by taking 5 deep breaths together, and we're going to hold it for 5 seconds at the top. So let's take a full breath in, inhaling that positive energy. We're going to hold. And as we exhale, we're just going to let go of the breath, just taking us into a state of relaxation. On our second breath, let's just inhale goodness and hold. And as we exhale into a state of relaxation. And we inhale once again, and this time we inhale acceptance, and we hold. And we exhale any judgment we have of ourselves or others. And we breathe in once again, and we inhale health and clarity, and we hold that. And as we exhale into this peacefulness, this serenity that surrounds us in this beautiful white light. And as we take our 5th breath here, Inhaling fully, we inhale desire and achievement, and we hold. And we exhale into complete relaxation, letting go of all concerns from our daily life. Good. This is your new solution for facing your fears. Whenever you feel or present itself, you simply take holding it at the top for the inhalation for 5 minutes. And when you exhale, blow out any fears that you feel. And when you take in your last breath, imagine you are breathing in courage and strength while letting go of your last breath. And say to yourself now, I am relaxed. For some of us, worthiness does not come easy. Sometimes it's hard to even imagine feeling deserving. Yet worthy is the state in which we are born. Most of us just simply need to be reminded. You are born invaluable. You are priceless. You are praiseworthy. So let's remember that feeling now and just allow yourself to feel worthy during this approach. Let us imagine that we are a tiny baby and there are people surrounding us that love us. They wrap us in a blanket to keep you warm and care for you when you cry. Just imagine how you feel as a baby, worthy of this care and love you are being given. Good. This tiny baby deserves to be cared for. This tiny baby feels good in their spirit and body when their worth shines out and is appreciated. Now imagine that you are holding this tiny baby, noticing how they feel, small but powerful in your arms. You feel dignified because you're in the presence of pure worthiness. And that, in turn, makes you feel worthy too. You are honored to share the love between you and this baby. And as you hold this pure goodness, honor this moment. Cherish this feeling. Good. Hear yourself saying, "It is natural for me to feel worthy and to honor the worthiness of others. Each day, in every way, I feel better and better. In order to make change and motivate myself, I challenge myself." Change is not comfortable. In fact, it is inconvenient. So if I feel comfortable with the changes I am making, I am probably not extending myself enough. When I have a fearful thought, I acknowledge that I feel this way, and then I completely release it. And when another fearful thought arises, I catch it quickly, and I say with confidence, I acknowledge that parts of me that feel this way, but this thought does not help me right now. It is just a thought after all. Each day, in every way, I feel motivated and strong. Whenever I am presented with the feelings of being undeserving, I know my breath is there to soothe me and guide me into relaxation, releasing this unnatural thought. Every single day, I become more aware of all the good things going on in my community and in the world around me. When I feel an unwanted emotion holding me back, I know that the way to break through is to take several deep breaths, relaxing my mind and body to do so. This way, I can clearly see things for how they truly are. Good. Each day in every way I face fears. I now challenge them with courage. In order to make my great change, I control my thoughts effectively. From now on, I challenge every single negative and unproductive thought that arises. My intentions are pure. Nice. From forward, whenever you find yourself having negative or unproductive thoughts such as "I am unmotivated," you will immediately say to yourself the word "enough." Let me repeat this, that it is perfectly clear to you. Anytime you find yourself having a fearful, negative, or unproductive thought, you will immediately say to yourself the word "enough." And the very moment you say the word "enough," you will find that these negative thoughts you are having will simply disappear. This gives you the opportunity to start a new positive thought process. Good. When you're ready to begin building a new positive thought process, begin with this technique of awareness. Just become aware of your body now and notice any gentle waves of relaxation is sweeping over you. Feel that light become warmer, become brighter. Feel how your body feels when you pay attention and really feel this wave of relaxation you deserve to feel. This makes you even more relaxed, calm, and clear. You are a crucial factor in the forces of love. You are indispensable. You are a valuable energy radiating worthiness. You are the key to unleashing fearlessness. You are irreplaceable. You, extremely useful, extremely helpful, and fully motivated. Your courage is of the utmost importance. People notice you, and you compliment them honestly, and you are appreciated. Each day in any of your meditation and practice, give gratitude, knowing that the I am, that divine spark in you, just radiates your worthiness. It radiates your perfection. It radiates the true gift you are to yourself and to others. And as you feel that permeating through your body, let us just feel thankful for all of it now. And let that radiate as that psychic energy just telepathically sends out that feeling of gratitude to everyone around you and everyone in your mind that needs to feel grateful right now, no matter what's going on in their lives. And as you do this powerful work on a daily basis, and you continue to do this work without ceasing, you do it with enthusiasm, you do it with zeal, you know that you are changing your life for the better each and every day. And as we see ourselves, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Then we take a deep breath in together. We breathe out. And as you feel so moved, begin to open your eyes as we come back into this time and this place, knowing that is all done. We let it be, and so it is. Amen.
I get so lost sometimes. Days pass and this emptiness fills my heart. When I want to run away, I drive off in my car. But whichever way I go, I come back to the place you are. And all my instincts, they return. The grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. From the inside. resolution of all the fruitless searches. Oh, I see the light and the heat. Oh, I wanna be that complete. I wanna touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes. Get so tired of working so hard for our survival. I look to the time with you to keep me awake and alive. And all my instincts, they return. The grand facade so soon will burn without a noise, without my pride. I reach out from the inside. From the inside. In your eyes. The heat in your eyes, I am complete. In your eyes, I see the doorway to 1,000 churches. The resolution of all the fruitless searches. Oh, I see the light and the heat. I see the light, I feel the heat. Oh, I wanna be that complete. Love, I get so lost sometimes.
All right, welcome back. And again, we're going to be talking about the power of zeal today as we join here in our lesson. So what I wanted to start with was the daily word on zeal. And the word for the day was zest for life. And the affirmation is, I love life. In my life, if my life feels out of order, my enthusiasm may wane, yet I feel my joy returning as I pause for a moment of prayer. I am a divine creature made in the likeness of God to deliver a unique gift to the world. I bless every circumstance I encounter. My relationship, health, and goals are revitalized as I express the power of love and appreciation. God moves in and through me, and my life is blessed. At the age of 93, Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore expressed his enthusiasm by saying, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with the mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. Like Charles Fillmore, I greet each new day with enthusiasm. Whatever I do with zeal. And from 2 Timothy 1:16, rekindle the gifts of God that is within you. And I think that's a powerful notion because a lot of times we talk about doing things that are fun and enthusiastic. And that's what this power is about. It's about finding that enthusiasm. It's not about being fun. A lot of times we talk about in this human experience, we prefer to be entertained rather than doing what we're called to do. And we talk about this constantly where we are an individualized gift Now, what do I mean by that? When we go through our five powers, our five principles, we talk about first, we talk about this goodness, this godness, this allness that is omnipresent, omniscient, and moving in and through everything in the world. But our second principle tells us that we are good because we are divine and we come from that same divine spark as part of the universe. But a lot of times we forget that and we think of ourselves sometimes as clones of everyone else. Well, everybody's doing this. Well, everybody's that. And we forget that we were given an individualized gift. There are a lot of people who are listening to this today, who are in our service or out in the world, who do things that I know I can't do, or at least it's not my calling to do. And I find my calling and I do that, and they find their calling and do that, and between all of us in oneness, we create a world that's better because we have that individualized gift. Charles Fillmore's definition of zeal is from his revealing word. Zeal is intensity, ardor, enthusiasm, the inward fire of the soul that urges man onward, regardless of the intellectual mind of caution and conservation. In layman's terms, our ego sometimes will tell us that we don't want to be there. And I don't know about you, but I know I've been there, where we're called to do something and something happens in life, and we know life happens constantly. And I talk about the perspective being personal. So when our perspective goes to that point of outer source and we see something or have something happens, and immediately we fall into victim mode, or we fall into that woe is me mode, we begin to dissipate our energy. And we know that everything is energy. And when we do that, and we try to move forward, a lot of times our mind starts to go into protective mode, which is a good thing. In many cases, that's a great thing. But a lot of times it also becomes the stopping point that says, hey, I don't want to keep moving forward because, if we do, there may be pain. If we do, there may be fear. If we do, we may be sad. And we need to get past that. And that's what our power of zeal does, because we get to find those things. So when we talk about zeal from the perspective of the 12 powers, we see the need to understand at what place zeal is. Now, again, we talk about perspective, we talk about experience. Now, everybody experiences things differently. Some of our modern authors of the 12 powers have the powers a little bit out of order from the old traditional way. And again, we have our traditions and we have our experiences. So if we go back to the traditional way, there's a belief that the powers must happen in order. So when we come to the point of zeal, it tells you why this is important. So let's go through the 12 powers real quick. First, we must build our power. And in that power, that power of faith. So there has to be a belief in us that there's a hoping, but the belief, there's something that we must do that's out there. We then have to move through strength to keep going, even when we're not sure. Then wisdom comes in, and where we have to be inspired. We have to know that that small, still voice is not our own perspective, but the perspective of the divine spark that we call the Christ consciousness within us. We then move into a place of love, where we're not talking about the emotion of love, but the power of love, coming from a place of our heart, knowing that we're doing the right thing, moving in the right way. We now engage power to truly bring this expression into life. We use the power of our visualization through our power of imagination. We have the understanding of what is mine to do versus what is the programming that I've received. We then tap into will, that pushes us to keep going. Now, I don't know about you, but I've just gone through most of them and I'm already tired. Okay. And finally, order, where everything we know starts to fall into place. We understand the principle of divine order, and then zeal. Think of all that we've had to do to get to this point. We're exhausted. We're tired. We've been challenged. We may be going through chemicalization or about to go through chemicalization. And if you're not sure what chemicalization is, where the body begins to fight you, the mind begins to fight you because you know you're doing the right thing, you're heading in the direction, but everything around you is pushing against you. Your ego is pushing against you. Everything that ever came up, every worthlessness that you've ever thought of yourself, anytime you thought that you weren't good enough, anytime that you thought you couldn't achieve something, all of that starts to come up. And you keep moving anyway. And you do it with a smile. You keep going. I hate the term grin and bear it, but that's pretty much a great way to say it when things are challenging. You come from a place of the heart that says, this is mine to do, and I'm going to do it with as much enthusiasm and as much happiness as I'm going to do this with, no matter what. And then when that starts to happen, you start to bubble up, and we get into chemicalization, and then we hit the power of release, which Tanya was so graceful last week in telling us about release and how it works. And I thank her for that. And so you need to remember this as we go forward. So the actual definition from the 12 powers of man is: zeal is the mighty force that incites the winds, the tides, the storms. It urges the planet on its course and spurs the art of greater exertion. It is the urge behind all things. Zeal is the affirmative impulse of existence. It is the command to go forward. You know, last week at the annual meeting, I did mention coming from a place of your heart doing something. And later on, I'll quote one of my favorite books and movies on how we should see that. But as right now, we need to remember that when we look at zeal, we're coming from a place of excitement. We can come from a place of wonder. And we can come from a place of fear. And what I mean by that is that depending on the perspective of where you are in life, when you need to call upon the power of zeal, is where you come from. The author in her book talks about her grandson, and the grandson's excited about going to the zoo and seeing the animals. And, excuse me, in that time, he sees the hot air balloons going up. And he asks his grandmother, would she go on? And she, of course, says, oh, yeah, I would love to fly in those balloons. He's like, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. But you notice that every time they kept moving through the story, he would ask again, and she would say, I definitely would. And it'd be a slight hesitation, like he was thinking about it. But then he would say, no, I wouldn't do that. Well, this happened a few more times, and finally at the end, when they finally came off of the last part of the tram and that they were on taking a tour through the safari, he ran and asked if there was any balloon rides, and there was one last ride, and he finally got on. He admitted he was scared, but it was like his life changed when he came over, and it truly did, because he overcame that voice inside of him telling him that that he couldn't do it, that he didn't want to do it, that he was scared to do it. And maybe that's not what he verbally said, but inside, that's the turmoil we go through when we're scared to do something, when we're allowing the voices of our fear, the voices of the people around us, to make us feel less than worthy or make us feel scared, and we don't do it. But then we can come from a perspective where our life isn't going the way we want. I recently made a decision to go vegetarian. And again, it's only been about a week. I'm enjoying it. But I wanted to find information, so I watched a movie on Netflix called Game Changers. And this is another perfect example of zeal, because the movie Game Changers is about an MMA fighter, or a mixed martial arts fighter, who was on his top of his game, going at it, and ends up getting hurt. So now he had to find it in himself to heal, to get back. He even began teaching because he needed to find that excitement. I always say I love the teaching aspect of ministry, where I get to teach and hear the results of other people who have learned and put into practice. And a lot of ministers will tell you that. They love to see it in fruition. And in his case, he got to see his students. He got to work it out. He changed his diet, which is why I watched the movie, because he became vegan a little bit more than what I was thinking of, and explains why in his top of his games. But the best part was to hear from everyone else. And there's an enthusiasm, and that's where zeal comes from. That enthusiasm in their voice as they're talking about it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, was another one who talked about he's now going plant-based. And there's an enthusiasm there. So even at times where life may not be the way you want it to be, there may be a traumatic event or something that affects you in life, but you got to keep going. Let's bring that power of zeal, that power of enthusiasm into the picture. If you've ever watched the music video for the song Overcomer by Mandisa, it shows you clips of Robin Roberts from today. It shows you clips of other people who have gone through some devastating accidents or illnesses, and how they come through and they're smiling and they're cheering, and even you can see the pain in their face, but they're finding that power of zeal to move forward and come out on the other side. What is your thing to do today? What is it that you have been afraid to do? What is it in life that's happened to you that has become bitter, or maybe pushing people away, or just pushing life away, that you can impart the point of the power of zeal to it? Let's look at our master teacher. That's a perfect example of finding that power of zeal. Imagine living in a time where you start your ministry and you're out and you're talking and people are following you, they're cheering you on. You've got to understand, from the human perspective, you're feeling good. You feel like you're doing the right thing. And then when he returns home, the Christian scriptures tells us that he couldn't perform many miracles, because now you're home. I had a pastor friend of mine who used to always say, he came home and he's like, "Oh, please, I used to call you Pookie when you were a little kid. Who are you to do miracles?" And that gets in our head. And we allow those voices to stop us from being the greatest that we can be. And because of that, we tap into our 12 powers, our innate powers, and especially the power of zeal to say, you know what, no matter what's in my head, no matter what's around me, I'm doing this because, and you can fill in that blank, no matter what. Les Brown used to say, if you know your why, the hows don't matter. And I found that to help me on many occasions, and I want that to help you. And your why, if you've never heard this, or if I've not explained it in one of my other talks, is when you ask yourself why you're doing something, or why you're attending something, or why you're studying something, or why you're being called to something. And it can be just as simple as, I don't know, but it is a burning desire that's in me that says, I need to do this. And that's your calling. And even with the fear, even with the despair, even with the mind saying, no, I don't want to do this, you know that there's a part of you that says, I need to do this, with a big smile on my face, and get out there and do that. So we look at a lot of our teachers and luminaries and ascended masters and the challenges they went through, but they continued their ministries. And we're not talking about just from a religious or spiritual faculty. Let's take someone like a Gandhi or a Martin Luther King, a Maya Angelou. These people also went through their traumatics. They went through their lives. They went through their challenges. They went through their haters, their naysayers, everything that's just constantly talking into your ear and filling that subconscious with programming that doesn't belong to you, but yet found it in themselves to find that power of zeal to go out there with an enthusiasm and talk. And imagine they never tapped into that. We wouldn't have the I had a dream speech. We wouldn't have Maya Angelou's poems, or the video where we're all excited here at Unity when she sits down with Oprah and says, I found the Unity Church, and talks about our principles. It is that zeal that drives us to do what we want to do. It is that zeal that when we're asked questions about whether we continue or not, that says, yes, we do because we have to do it. It is our calling. It is that enthusiasm that comes up when a parent helps the child succeed in what they want, or even just watching the child. It is that enthusiasm. But again, let's go back to the beginning where I said it's not about fun. It's not about being entertained. The Peaceful Warrior, I love the book and I love the movie. I love when Socrates is talking to Dan, and Dan had just finished cleaning the toilets, and he's like, what does this have to do with my practice? He wanted him to teach him gymnastics or find how to do the thing so he can be better at it. And he turns and tells him, he says, a warrior does not do what he loves, but he finds the love in what he does. So next time you're called to do something, next time you feel that burning desire and you know it's yours to do, and everything is pushing back, smile. Take a deep breath. Affirm that it is you that is meant to do this. And move with enthusiasm. Move from that place of the heart that says, yes, I can do this. Yes, I am worthy of this. I deserve this. And because of that, I'm going to do this with full-heartedness, with a big smile on my face, with energy popping up, and push forward with it. And that's when you know you've tapped into the power of zeal. With that, as always, I'm grateful for allowing my talk today. I hope you got something from it. And let's go ahead and take this into meditation.
Let us take a couple of deep breaths just to center ourselves back into this moment, this time, after this lesson. Just take a deep breath in, absorbing all that you've heard, all that you can take to work with you, and release anything that's blocking that or anything that no longer serves you. Just take another deep breath in, knowing that we are open for all the divine intuition that comes in, knowing that we are moving forward and doing what is ours to do. And with our final deep breath, we take in anything that is positive and pushes us forward as we release all the worry and anxiety of anything that may or may not happen in the stories we tell ourselves. We begin this meditation by affirming the passion of God fills my mind and heart, and I start to live my life as a great adventure. The passion of God fills my mind and heart, and I start to live my life as a great adventure. The passion in me sets me free to be all I've come here to be. The passion in me sets me free to be all I've come here to be. Divine zeal now moves me forward to all that enlivens and empowers me. Divine zeal now moves me forward to all that enlivens me and empowers me. And as you continue with your eyes closed, let's take a deep, long, enlivening breath. Let us imagine as you inhale that you are breathing in white light from the infinite resource of the universe. Breathe this white light into the nape of your neck, the seat of the divine zeal. In your mind's eye, watch the sparkling orange light of divine zeal light up and expand to fill your whole body. Breathe zeal into every cell and atom, telling yourself that you are porous to the passion of God that makes you brilliantly creative, dynamically inspired, and fully equipped to manifest your heart's desires. As we end in prayer, we say, Most amazing God, thank you for kindling a passion for life in my heart, so that I live each day as if it was my last. Love it as if I can't be hurt, and put my whole heart into all that I do to honor you, and at the same time bless myself and others. And we remind our God within that we are that creator of life. And it is through enthusiasm and zeal that we bring to life the expressions that are meant for us to do. And even in the illusion of fear, even in the illusion of failure, we know what is ours to do, and we do it with zeal and enthusiasm, moving forward. And so it be, so we let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Something great is happening. Love has taken hold and it won't let go of us now.
Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. With drops in one ocean, roll on.
Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Oh, oh, Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine.
Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind.
I will rise up with you today.
Lift up my voice.
Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Yeah. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word.
Stand together.
One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. Stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Yeah, yeah. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Stand together.
Live the
Be the hope of a
dream.
new day dawning.
Be the
We're the ones who
hope.
can make a
Share your
difference.
gifts.
Let's stand together.
Now.
Share your gifts with the world that's waiting
Oh.
for a change that we're all creating.
right? I hope you enjoyed our talk today. I hope you got something from it. I hope you took notes. I hope you engaged in our meditations with zeal, and that today begins the day that you start to look for that calling and truly get you out there. But this is the part of our service where we get to celebrate the joy of receiving and giving. And I hope through our talks and our meditations that you've gotten something for the day and for the week. And now we can practice giving, if you so move, to our ministry as we hold our gifts in our hands and we say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And as we send it, or if we've already sent it, we see it being done. We see that it's going out doing the work that is ours to do. And we say it is, and so it is, and we let it be. And we affirm with an amen. And let's quickly bless our children as always, whether they're in the room with you right now as you're watching this, or somewhere where you can hold them in your heart. Let's just say, we love you, we bless you, we honor you, we see the divinity in each of you, and we see you doing wonderful and great things as you progress into our next generation. And let's end with, the light of God surrounds me. And let's affirm for ourselves, I am light. The love of God enfolds me, and I am love. The power of God protects me, and I am power. The presence of God watches over me, and I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and I am divine, and so it is. And I'm so grateful for you today. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for bearing with us last week for our little technology challenges and still plugging in to listen to Tanya's wonderful lesson on release and elimination. See you next week as we talk about life, the power of life. And as always, if no one else has told you, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. And I am so grateful because the divine in me sees the divine in you. And we know that together we can co-create a world of love, peace, and harmony. Thank you.